Year end is right around the corner and we want you to be ready. Here are 7 tips to help you reach your goals and finish strong. Let's jump right in. Tip number 1, don't reinvent the wheel. As a nonprofit, it can be hard to recognize your year-end fundraising campaign wins when you're feeling overwhelmed, as if everything's coming down all on your plate at once. If you don't feel that way, then great. This may be the most important time to hone in on your past wins and use them as a roadmap to success. To do this, we suggest asking questions that will help you build a data-driven year-end giving strategy and help benchmark or track the right metrics for future year-end campaigns. Get out your notepad. What was your average gift amount last year? What was the average cost per donor on an advertising front? What campaigns raised the most money? What were the most popular campaigns with each donor segment? Were the campaigns run through your website or a separate fundraising page? What were the pros and cons of both? Which channels were the highest converting? Was it email, direct mail, paid social, Google Ad Grant? What was it? I hope you were able to write all that down. Now that you have a scope on your past wins, we want to share our key takeaways from 2021. We have data on which days we saw the most engagement with our digital advertising. This will be crucial to help us decide which days we want to scale our spend for next year. We know that the majority of our impressions and conversions came from mobile campaigns, so we will be doubling down on mobile-only campaigns for year-end. Text to donate or text to pledge and text to RSVP to make donor acquisition easy. We saw that those that gave during Giving Tuesday often became recurring givers during year-end through tailored Facebook advertising. This is easy to do with Facebook events and something we want to capitalize on next year. Tip number 2, engage with donors well before year-end. It's true, the earlier the better. Don't wait too long to re-engage with your donors. We like to say that your donors aren't your donors. One way to encourage early interaction is by launching relational texting campaigns. With open rates well over 90%, texting is one of the most effective channels. Because of Giving Tuesday and year-end saturation, it is more important than ever to warm up different audiences to year-end appeals ahead of time. This helps keep donors informed, engaged with the mission, and expecting your advertisements. Having multiple touchpoints to ensure supporters feel involved year-round is key. Also, remember that donor stewardship isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. You should consider a personalized approach for your outreach strategy based on each donor segment. Are they a top giver, a recurring giver, a new donor, or just a volunteer? To help you out a bit, here's an exact timeline we use for all of our clients. September. Repost this year's most successful content. Highlight this year's biggest achievements. Start creating and testing content so it's ready in time for the holidays. Create and test posts and other content that will engage potential new supporters. October. Tweak the test you began in September. Start testing ads. Continue to engage and attract users with regular posts. November. Increase posts and promotions on Facebook. Highlight key giving events for the weeks ahead. Launch your Giving Tuesday campaign. Showcase the impact made, the people that were helped, and volunteers who helped make it possible. Thank your campaign donors and volunteers. Encourage your supporters, board members, and volunteers to use Facebook fundraisers on your behalf. Make sure to push for a matching gift if possible. Tip number 3, use segmentation and personalization. If you haven't heard this before, people prefer personalization. It is so important to craft a message that is for your actual supporters. You can do this by dividing your donors into groups based on their behaviors and traits. They should feel like they're in your shoes and that the message is meant for them. Use your existing data to make your appeal sound like it was written just for that individual. To personalize ads, focus on delivering timely and relevant messaging that is segmented by visitor traffic. The best performing campaigns stand out by having one message that is concrete, specific, and consistent across channels like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. By combining this practice with machine learning to dynamically select ad formats, creative, and copy, we can improve user experience by meeting people where they're at. This is available for Google and Facebook advertising. An example for a nonprofit would be a dynamic ad for those that are cold traffic, a dynamic ad for those that have checked out but abandoned, and another for those that have donated in the last 30 days. Tip 4, measure what matters. Allow data to be at the center of your strategy and set yourself up for success by identifying clear metrics that you want to keep an eye on before launching your campaign. To find out what works best and what doesn't, Test it. Always be testing, using controlled experimentation to understand what happens. By combining all of these strategies, you can improve campaign effectiveness, get the credit you deserve for your programs, and most importantly, ensure a better return on investment for all of your marketing. Additional tip, use Google PageSpeed Insights to see if your site is mobile optimized. 60% of nonprofit site visitors are on mobile. You can use this tool to check site speed and for diagnostics on how to improve your site. Tip 5, capitalize on the last 3 days of the year. Nonprofit organizations receive a whopping 50% of their annual donations during the last 3 months of the year, October, November, and December. And 12% of all annual donations occur during the final 3 days of the year, December 29, 30, and 31. Also, 1/3 of all nonprofit spending occurs in December. The highest return on ad spend starts with search ads, followed by display, and then paid social. What we're trying to say is, it's time to scale. Ask yourself how your nonprofit should scale this year end, and then take 5 minutes to map out the channels you want to advertise on this year and what your estimated budget might be. Tip number 6, lean into recurring giving. The most important thing here is to not be afraid to target those who have already donated. Why? Because strong recurring giving is a game changer, and it's all about the timing. Start early. The majority of Giving Tuesday donors do not return until the next holiday season, but 31% of those who do return for a second gift do so within 6 months. That's why it's important for nonprofits to reactivate sooner and to be creative in the ways you're reaching out. You might want fast donation checkouts, but the people that spend 4 to 5 minutes on your campaign pages convert more. If you're in need of recurring gifts, be straightforward about it. It seems simple, but just explaining the difference between a one-time gift from a recurring gift for your nonprofit organization can be enough to onboard recurring givers. You want to really emphasize the benefit there for the donor and you. You can explain that it's more convenient to donate through an automated recurring giving program. It helps them stay connected with the organization, and it helps them know where their money is going. They can give a small monthly gift instead of a one large gift. By building a community around your program, people may be more inclined to join on the bandwagon. If you don't currently have the option of recurring giving, consider moving to a giving experience platform that makes recurring giving payments easy and straightforward for your supporters, and it's easy to implement for you. Tip number 7, lead with video. Here at Community Boost, we like to say that video is king. Video ads visually create an emotional connection. It's a great way to diversify your marketing mix, and it helps out with iOS tracking. Due to iOS 14 updates, it's gotten harder to track users on site. You can no longer rely on normal remarketing tracking through pixels. Combating this by using a highly engaging video as brand awareness or post engagement tool allows advertisers to build bigger remarketing pools using first-party data. Platforms are also making it easier for nonprofits to implement video and are even favoring it. Paid Google Ads unlocks additional ad formats like display and video. Templates in Google Ads make it for an easy setup process, and display offers powerful audience insights that can be applied to other marketing channels. Video campaigns can be the cheaper route when reaching a broader audience. No, you don't need a videographer to do this with an incredible technology on smartphones these days. For example, the nonprofit Charity Water is diversifying their marketing mix and leaning more heavily into YouTube. Why? Because it's less competitive and less expensive than Facebook. Don't worry, you only pay when someone watches more than 30 seconds of your ad.